feel like we all feel the emotion of being alone at some point in our lives, right? Like, obviously for some people it's going to be more common than others. Some people just have a lot of family, a lot of friends, in quotations, surrounded by you, right? Like, there's some people that will just always have people around them, and I do feel like with women in particular, they're just kind of more apt to have more friends, be more social, because they're just more social creatures in general, right? But I feel like some people don't realize, like, some of us out here really be lonely. And well, let me change that right there. Change that phrase. Some of us are definitely lonely, and then some of us are just alone, I feel like there's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely, because I feel like you can actually, like, you can be technically with people, have a lot of people surrounded around you, and you can feel very lonely. And I feel like vice versa, you can have not a lot of people surrounded around you, just, a handful of people, but real people that, build you up, people that, you actually enjoy being around. They also enjoy you for who you are, right? And then you're not really going to feel alone. You're not going to feel lonely, even though you might not have as many people as the next person, right? Like, this one person, she might have, or he might have, like, so many people on Snapchat texting them constantly, right? They got so many snaps. You look at their phone and you look at their Snap notifications, they got like 200 people, right? But does that mean that they are not lonely? I mean, I feel like we kind of live in a world now, obviously, where maybe it's not as much as it was at one point, where having amount of notifications, having amount of, like, people texting you, especially on Snapchat, having, like, streaks and shit was so important. It still might be for, like, the youth, like people in their teenagers and stuff. I'm not really sure, but does that really mean that you have people there just because you have a bunch of snap streaks, just because you have a bunch of, like, shit that really don't fucking matter at the end of the day? But there's some of us out here, like, that might not have those snap streaks, might not have all these people that are hitting our phones up, and you feel like, oh, you're missing out, or you don't have what these other people have, so you must be lonely. You must not have enough friends. You must be a loser, right? I feel like some of us, I know for me in particularly, I definitely have felt that before, where I felt like I didn't really have a lot of people surrounded by me, and that would very much get to me, right? It would get to me. It would make me feel more alone than I really was. Make me feel lonely in general. Like, right now, where I'm at currently in my life, I don't really have a lot of people around. I really don't. I ain't texting motherfuckers. People ain't texting me either. And I'm not going to say that doesn't bother me at all. Maybe there's some in particular people that I just want to talk to, but, they're just not around. Maybe I could go text them, but I might have to wait a day or two to get a response. But if in reality, if that's the case that you got for somebody, like, if they're taking that long to respond, either they're super busy focusing on themselves, or they don't really care about you. So either way, if you feel lonely, I think you really gotta, like, meditate on your situation. Meditate about yourself too. Like, are you really lonely, or do you just feel alone? And I'll tell you right now, I feel like for most people that feel lonely, they probably don't have the best relationship with themselves. I know for me, in particular, I can speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for me. When my battery was at 20%. Still recording? Okay, cool. When I didn't really have a lot of confidence in myself, when I was, younger, I mean, really just since this last year of my life, where I didn't really like myself. I didn't really respect myself. I didn't love myself, right? All this stuff, I felt very alone. But now I'm in a spot now where I don't really have, maybe I have less friends than I did, because I don't have Snapchat. I actually did just re-download Snapchat today just to check up on some things. But I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, I have none of that stuff, right? So I'm talking to a lot less people than I used to, but I actually feel not always, but most of the time, I do feel more in control with myself. I feel more content with my life. I feel less lonely, having less people around. And I feel more content just being with myself, because I spend a lot of time with myself now. I journal. I journal about my life every single day. That's one way of me to, talk to myself, right? I'm walking home from the gym. I walk to the gym by myself. I spend 2 to 3 hours in the gym by myself. I walk home by myself. I spend a lot of time with just me. And to me personally, I find that to be very good. I found like it has really helped me, actually, spending more and more time by myself. My battery is just draining for whatever. Probably because it's cold as fuck right now. So I'm gonna have to wrap this shit up. Anyway, this video was kind of I am really cold. It's like 35 degrees out, but it's like misty as hell, and it's just cold. It was nice out before. But yeah, I feel like some of us, we think we're lonely, but we're really not, man. And I will say, if you do feel lonely, I would say the first thing you should do is work on your relationship with yourself. And I feel like if you really feel lonely, you probably need to work on that. So that's my advice. This is a topic I'll probably talk about in a million videos. So yeah, thank you for watching.